Hi guys, it's time for another Dearlydee Mood Board challenge, and I know it's been a super long time since the last one, so let's take a look at the mood board that I put together for us to work with this time. So the mood board this month is probably a little more subtle than what you're used to seeing from me, but it's still got a lot of really nice textural elements that you could use on a page, plus there's some gold, some hand lettering, repetition with circles. There's a whole lot of jumping off points here. If you decide to give this challenge a go, don't forget to use the hashtag Dearlydee Mood Board Challenge so that I can see what you make. And if you want to grab a copy of this mood board to use, head over to my Facebook page. So I printed out my photos in black and white because I think that would go nicely with the really subtle colour scheme of the mood board this time. But before we get started, I wanted to show you a page that I already created using this mood board. So this page was super simple, and I think it just goes to show you don't have to interpret this mood board in any sort of complicated way. It can be as simple as just using the colour scheme. The reason I had done this page with this mood board is because I had taken this photo, and when I was looking through my camera roll, I realised that the colours matched really nicely to the mood board. So I printed out a full page photo. I did a little bit of stamping with an older Kelly stamp set, and all I did was gold emboss this stamp here and then repeat the rest of the stamping in colours from the mood board. And because the mood board has a tiny touch of gold in it, I added a few little gold stickers and called it done. So that's how simple it can be. You can use the mood board to inspire your style from some of the photos that are in it, or purely just use it as a colour scheme to base your page off. So for this page, I've got my photos of Lily, they're run the wrong way, but it's a before and after photo from her latest haircut. And I think I really want to do something with my actual pocket page. So I'm thinking, because the mood board's got some vellum in it, I'm going to do something with some vellum. So let's get started and see how it turns out. So like I said, I wanted to use a little bit of vellum, but the first thing I'm going to do is just split these photos so I can put them on the right side of each page. And then I just grabbed a sheet of vellum, and I'm just going to trim that down so it fits into the pocket. And I did my usual cheats way and just marked it with my nail before I trimmed it with my paper trimmer. Now, the lovely Ruth had sent me these beautiful embellishments, and they were sitting on this little plate on my desk, and I realized these gold leaves would be perfect for this mood board. So they've got a little wire piece on the back of them, so I've just pulled that off so that they'll sit a little bit flatter in there. And then I'm going to sort of copy that piece in the mood board that had those hand-drawn leaves on it. So I've just grabbed a pencil, I placed those gold leaves roughly where I thought they might go, and then I'm just drawing some stems and leaves just to sort of fit around that. And now I'm going to just use a little bit of adhesive just to stick those leaves down. They're going to be in the pocket, so I'm not super concerned about sticking them down too well. They're not going to come off and fall through my book anywhere. When I flipped it over, I kind of liked the opaque look that had, but I didn't like that you could see the tape through the vellum of the back of the leaves, so I'm going to cover up each of those with another one of those gold leaves, and that way I get that beautiful shiny gold look on both sides of my page. And I'm really happy with how that insert looks, so I'm just going to go ahead and pop that into the pocket of my pocket page notebook, and then I can carry on with the other pages. Now there's that picture with the white tiles in the mood board, and I kind of had thought I might recreate that on these other two pages. So I grabbed out a whole pile of white coloured scraps, and I was going to cut them to make sort of a tile shape, and I realised that was way more work than I wanted to do. So I grabbed out this background die and just cut that out of just some white cardstock, and I like the look. It's going to give me that texture that I'm after without a massive work, because I wasn't intending to spend forever today doing this, except that when I went to stick it down like this with the blue pen, it is going to take me so long. So what I did is I went and recut that background die out of some white cardboard sticker paper that I had, and then you'll see how much easier this is to stick down. So literally just peel it off the backing and stick it down, and then I can trim out the edges. So I'm always looking for ways to make this a little bit quicker, and I definitely didn't want to have to glue down that die cut, so this was an excellent solution. Now I went to stick down my photo and I realized I want to add a little bit more to this background rather than just this die cut. I want to add a little bit of splatters too, just to bring in some of the teal and the greys colours from the mood board as well. So I stick down the other side, the other die cut, and then I'm going to do some splattering. I don't have a great deal of mists or inks because I don't do this a lot. So instead I grabbed out my metallic watercolors because I love the metallic of them, and really they're not great watercolors, but they are excellent for splattering like this. So I've mixed up a couple of colors, the teal and a grey color, and I'm just using a paintbrush to make just a few light splatters on the left-hand page first, and you'll see I cheat and actually dot it with my paintbrush to get some bigger ones. The pocket page is really handy to just wipe off anything that's splattered onto there, and then I do use my heat gun to dry it off, but be very careful not to melt the pocket. I hold it a long way above the page and do not point it directly at the pocket because that thing will melt. Now, I haven't made you watch me do both sides, but I did repeat the process on the right hand page as well, and then went ahead and stuck my photos down, making sure I get them around the right way. I do want it to be the before and after rather than the other way around. And I'm going to add a little title to this page. It's not much of a title, but I liked these little letters. They sort of echo the hand lettering that's in the mood board. These are the Stanley Jr. stamps from Ali's studio. And so I'm stamping before on the first page and after on the second, obviously. I'm going to add some journaling on my right hand page. So I wanted to add something a little bit darker onto this left hand page. So I decided to stamp out and use the solid stamps rather than the outline, and then add just a tiny piece of journaling. I mean, it's not a huge story. She went to the groomers and wasn't happy about it, but I am. She looks lovely and doesn't smell like a foot anymore. So I'm just writing that out in just pencil, and I drew out a few loose lines so I could keep it relatively straight, and then that is my page all done. This page is so subtle compared to what I normally produce, and I really love it. And I'd also really love for you guys to grab a copy of the mood board and make something. And do make sure you use that hashtag so I can see what you make. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there's a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.